Good morning. Didn't we luck out? No snow. Wow. One year we did have snow, but we carried on. It's nice to know that you got here safe and you'll be able to travel home safe. I hope you're planning to stay for our lovely luncheon at the end of the day when all your jitters are gone. My name is Patricia Brown, and I'm Vice President for Enrollment Management at Daemen. And it's my pleasure to welcome you here this morning. Scholars, you have already demonstrated many of the characteristics that will serve you well as you begin your college career. Your striving for excellence, your persistence, determination, curiosity, and desire to grow and learn are all traits that will help you to achieve your goals in life. You and your family know that a college education is the single best investment you can make in your life. This investment in your education will earn you great dividends as you progress through your career. It will open doors, introduce you to people from all over the world, and take you to places you never dreamed of going. Today, we celebrate your accomplishments and congratulate you on your acceptance into Daemen College. The president of Daemen College, Dr. Gary Olson, is a noted scholar of rhetoric, writing, and culture. He is the 6th president of Daemen, and his leadership and vision is taking the college to new heights. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Gary Olson.
Good morning, everyone. Let's have a good morning, a wildcat good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
All right, there you go. Glad to see you here, snow or no snow. You probably have heard me say this before, but I like to say it to every group that I am in front of. I've been in higher education for over 35 years, associated with, I counted this morning, 9 colleges and universities all over the country. And quite literally, I've never found a place quite like Daemen College. And by that, I mean the very friendliness of it, the supportiveness that you get. You saw that as you walked in, people saying hello to you, people trying to help you find where you need to go. It's like that all year round, not just on Scholars Day. So you'd be hard-pressed to find that in most colleges and universities. In fact, it's very easy to feel like you're a number when you're a student in most places. I don't think that our students feel that way. I think you can ask them, but I suspect most of them will say, no, I feel more like I'm part of a family. And that's the kind of atmosphere we try to foster here. We're all kind of the Daemen family. So welcome to the family. In fact, those of you vying for these scholarships are sort of the cream of the cream, I think. And, I get the pleasure once a year to be the one who calls the winners of those scholarships. So somebody hands me, in fact, Dr. Brown, hands me a list and says, well, these are the ones that rose to the top of the top, and so I get to make a personal call. So please take my call. Hey, I thought I'd just brag a little bit about a few things because I had to gather some facts for a news reporter about Daemen. Get a load of this. The college was selected as a National College of Distinction for 8 consecutive years. We received the very prestigious Carnegie Foundation Community Engagement classification, which means that we have a real commitment to community service. In fact, it's such a commitment that annually our students provide 30,000 hours of community service to the local community. We were ranked among the top 200 private colleges in the country for return on the investment. In other words, the money we pay for college education at Daemen is a real buy, in other words. We were also selected as a top 10 military-friendly school in the nation. Ranked one of the top 50 most affordable small colleges for a human resources degree. And I could go on and on. But the point is, Daemen is a really special place. You in this room are very special now. I wanted to do one thing before I introduce the other speakers, or before the other speakers get introduced, I think, by Dr. Brown. I wanted to ask the parents to please rise. So parents, let's show them your appreciation with a wildcat appreciation. There you go. Thank you for being here. Anyway, I hope you have a very good day. And as I say, if you need questions answered, you need to know anything, ask any of our people. You'll see them with these Daemen ties or scarves. You'll know who they are. Have a good day.
It's now my pleasure to introduce to you a current Daemen scholar. His name is Joseph Biddle, and I think you'll find him quite amazing.
So before I begin, I would just like each of the scholars here today recognize what an achievement it is just to be here. You have already proven that you guys are intelligent and diligent students. Now it's time to just be yourself and show Daemen who you are. You all have a story of where you came from and a vision of where you're going, and that's what today is all about. If you were to ask me 4 years ago what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, it would really depend on what day of the week it was, because I'm incredibly indecisive. And while I've always been so indecisive, I have two things that I've always been interested in: traveling and mystery. So over the course of my time here at Daemen, while I've always embraced my traveling aspect by studying Spanish, I've alternated between majors in sustainability, biology, and forensic science. And this May, my degrees will be in biology and Spanish with minors in chemistry and global studies. Over the course of my time here at Daemen, I've taken over 170 credits, ranging from courses I've taken in high school, brought in from study abroad experiences, and often I've had to carry a heavy course load. Following my sophomore year, I studied abroad in San Jose, Costa Rica, where I was able to live with a Costa Rican family and experience the awesome natural beauty of the country. While I was there, I was able to travel to Panama, not just once, but twice. I went whitewater rafting, traveled on the longest zip line in Central America, hiked through the rainforest, and jumped out of a rainforest canopy that was the equivalent of a 13-story building. And not to mention, my Spanish skills increased in ways I couldn't have imagined. And this experience was made possible with help from Daemen's Global Programs Office. The following summer, I decided to embrace my interest in studies in biology. I applied to the National Science Foundation Research Experience for Undergraduates program, and it's actually extremely lucky that I applied to so many programs because the competition was fierce. I was selected to interview for 2 programs and ultimately ended up at a marine lab in Florida through the University in St. Augustine, Florida, through the University of Florida. So for 11 weeks, I moved to St. Augustine, Florida, and researched cellular and developmental biology of marine animals. I lived on the coast of a beach, received a hefty stipend, and all expenses paid. And despite how that may sound, it was actually extremely intense. I spent 60 hours in the lab researching. I spent over 10 hours a week attending lectures, seminars, and then I also managed to have time to learn how to surf and snorkel a little bit. So, sorry. All the time, however, paid off when I actually started seeing results. So this January, I was actually able to travel to Portland, Oregon to present my research at the Society for Integrative and Comparative Biology. And I'll spare you all the gory details of my project, but if anyone's actually interested, I'd be happy to share with you later. So at my time here at Daemen, I've also been working with Dr. Diane Ramos, a professor of biology, for the last 2 years on an ongoing research project studying the developmental mechanisms of the intricate patterns on butterfly wings. Dr. Ramos has been a driving force behind many of my successes here at Daemen and a role model for the kind of scientist and person I hope to become. Having the ability to work with professors so closely has definitely impacted the opportunities presented to me and where I am today. Next fall, I plan to enroll in graduate school to pursue a PhD in developmental biology. And as of now, I have been offered interviews at 5 schools, including the University of Rochester, Stony Brook University, Indiana University Bloomington, University of Maryland, University of Florida, and have even been offered a preliminary interview at Harvard University. All of which have offered me full tuition waivers and a living stipend. That way I don't have to work during my studies. And even with all the opportunities that I have described here today, I managed to work at a coffee shop that half of you probably stopped at today, or at least I did, Tim Hortons, and have fun with my family and friends, enjoying the renovated waterfront at Canalside. I've been a member of the honors program here at Daemen since my freshman year, and just served as the president of the National Biological Honor Society. I also participate in the social and volunteer activities through the Trustee Scholars program. And an important realization I had during my college experience is the grades you earn and the classes you take are only one part of what takes you from here to there. The rest is made up of the opportunities and experiences that you have during your time in college. And Daemen does an incredible job of preparing you to take on those occasions, regardless of what it is you want to study. My friends at local public universities often stress around exam time because they don't have that faculty to work with them. But I feel here at Daemen the confidence I get from the faculty is really what makes the difference, because they're always going to be your biggest advocates. Dr. Denise Mills, my academic advisor, was my biggest fan from day one. Throughout all my crazy plans and changes of majors, she never doubted what it was I could do. And having that kind of support, like from a family member, is exactly what a student needs to keep working towards their goals. So with that, I would just like to say good luck to everybody, and you shouldn't be nervous. And I hope you enjoy your time here at Daemen.
Good job.
I told you he was amazing. It's now my pleasure to introduce our Associate Vice President for Enrollment Management, Frank Williams.
That is a very, very hard act to follow. All those things he said he didn't accomplish, I did none of them. No, that was great. Thanks, Joe, for sharing your story there. First, I'd like to start off by acknowledging some of our vice presidents that have been here, that have come this morning, and that are here every year. And over to my left, some of your right, we have our Vice President of Student Affairs, Greg Nair, Dr. Greg Nair. And our Vice President of Business, Rick Shaw. And we have another cabinet member who is our Vice President of Information Services. That's Kelly Duran to Greg's left. And I also wanted to just acknowledge our and I have Mike Brogan, who's in the middle of the students over there. Come on, Mike, we can see you. Dr. Mike Brogan is our Vice President of Academic Affairs, which is where our VPs and faculty are many of the times amongst our students. That was a great example. We didn't plan that either. I want to also acknowledge our admissions counselors that have been working with you, many of you, since your junior year and over the summer and the fall semester. And we have David Johnson, Luke Ramey, Colleen Lanigan, Caroline Falcone, and Kaylee Butler. Thank you. And as been said already, many of you are nervous, but this is not a day to be nervous. This is a day to make sure that you talk about your accomplishments. Please know, the fact that you're here, you've already won. You are already received our Presidential Scholarship. You're already winners in that regard. So while you're here, make sure that you sell yourself, which usually the most articulate and bright students don't do enough of. So sell yourself today. When they ask you those questions, let them know about the experiences you've done. Let them know what you learned about those things. Not to sit and not share those things. Many times it's hard for you to do that, but that's one thing I would definitely do is say try not to be as nervous. Easy for me to say, right? And also sell yourself. This is the time that you want them to know all those things you've done, that you've written about, that your counselors, your teachers have written about, and all those accomplishments that you've learned from. That's a good time to do that. While you're here today, many of the students you see over in the corner in the rugbies, those are our current Trustee Scholarship winners from freshman year up to their senior year. So if you can give a wave. And so those students have sat in the same seat a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and they have accomplished some great things as well. So our data tells us that 50 to 65% of you will enroll in Daemen College. But I think this is going to be a year that we're going to break that record, and many more will be here come next year. Because this is the day that you can really kick our tires and say, I've met some faculty members that have really made a difference in other students' lives, and they'll make a difference in your lives as well. So our trustee scholars are there to ask any questions to them and then speak with them. Again, if you stay for lunch, that'll be a great time to sit down with them. I wanted to just lift up a few of the programs we have going on today that I would hope that you would attend. And we have Plus Pathways and Minors. That's going to be in the center of your brochure here. The Plus Pathways and Minors. That's going to be a session that will speak to you about additional academic opportunities along with your major. A lot of times you hear more of the more popular terms of double majoring and majors and minors, but this is going to be a little bit different, but along those same lines. And I would definitely encourage you to attend that session throughout the day to hear about how you can have some additional academic opportunities while you're here at Daemen. Also, we have some of our alum, so students that have come, that have graduated, that are working and doing some amazing things. I was just with that group before I came here, and even new possibilities. We have a graduate who's now on a different career path in the marketing field. Works for a large marketing firm downtown Buffalo, and she's loving it. So if you have opportunity to talk with some of our alum, go to the alumni panel and speak with them and hear what they're doing. We have a graphic designer who's also working for Fisher-Price. So if you're a graphic designer or an art or animation major, know that sometimes there's also a lot of great local opportunities for you. So we have that alumni here as well. And one thing I would share with you, and I thought about it as Joe was speaking, for myself personally, my only regret from undergrad, I did a lot of things, many things that our current students are doing, but the one thing I never did was to study abroad. So if that's an option for you or something you think you want to do, definitely look into it. Do a study abroad opportunity. It's never too late, but it's a great time to do it while you're enrolled as an undergraduate student on a campus that really supports those efforts. And we do have the Global Programs Office that really supports you going to any country almost. As long as it's safe, as long as we have agreements with them, we can make it happen for you. So think about that too as you're entering into the college realm. And also want to acknowledge that the students that are here, we have students from outside of the area. We have also a few Skype interviews. We currently have multiple students from California, either present or had Skyped with us on Monday. We have multiple students from Connecticut, Indiana, Colorado, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and of course, New York. So this is definitely a diverse group. We thank you for coming. We thank you for being a part of this day. And we want to make sure that all your questions are answered, any concerns you have, that you can ask myself, our faculty, even our administration as they're here. But before we dismiss, I want to dismiss first our first interviewers, our 9:15 interviewers. So, and there to my left, to your right. So if you have a 9:15 interview, we have some trustee scholars. If you could raise your hand, trustee scholars, that are going to be escorting you to your interview room to make sure you get there in enough time to get situated, make sure the interviewers are there as well. So we're going to dismiss our 9:15 interviewers first so that you have plenty of time to go and get ready for your interview. Again, thank you for coming and enjoy the day, and we hope to see you for lunch. Lastly, this is your day, this is your time. Any questions you have, make sure you pull one of us to the side. Enjoy the day, and again, we'll see you for lunch. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, one thing I didn't mention, I will also have the parent session during your son or daughter's interview. So during your son or daughter's interview, I'll have a parent session. It's going to be right down the hall in Duns Scotus 35, and we'll have plenty of students to show you to that area. So I'll be talking with all the parents and answering questions there. Again, thank you.